lovely humans of the internet. I am so happy to see you all again. My name is Taylor Gonzaga. I am the founder and artistic director of Opera Cecilia, a company that is made by and for emerging artists and local talent. We're based out of the West Coast of the United States. It has been a very, very long week or so for me. So if I seem a little bit lower energy than usual in this video, it is not because I am not extremely happy to be making the video. It is simply because I have been very blessed with getting some new student recruits to my studio. So I'm doing a bunch of trial lessons on top of my regular schedule of teaching voice, beginning piano, and group classes right now. With multiple organizations, and then I'm also getting Opera Cecilia's second performance of the season off the ground and a bunch of other stuff. So there's a lot going on in Taylorland right now. We had our inaugural production of Orfeo ed Euridice by Christoph Willibald Gluck. It was an absolutely beautiful show. It's a cinematic opera. It is still available for purchase if you would like to view the show. Tickets are just $5 and you can pay for them via my website. The link to my website is down in the description for this video. One or two other really brief, exciting announcements before I start. Some of them have to do with Opera Cecilia and some of them have to do with my own personal artistry. I have a little bit of a favor to ask. I recently placed second in the Charleston International Music Competition, which was super exciting, but there's also an additional award that is being offered to kind of like an audience choice type of performer if we get the most views on our virtual submission, which is being shown at the Charleston International Music Competition's YouTube channel. You can access the link to my video on the Charleston Music Competition YouTube down in the description as well. If you all would like to go and check that out and like it, comment on it if it's something that you enjoyed, just give that video a little bit of love and some more views. We can see if we can bump me up to that additional award. That would mean so much to me and for all of the hard work that I've been putting into my artistry this season so far. I just thought I would put that out there in case anyone wanted to support any of my work. I'm singing a really beautiful piece called Clara Schumann. One of the missions behind my performance career is to represent works by female classical composers more, because they are largely underrepresented in the classical music world. The second announcement is regarding Opera Cecilia. We have our second performance, Messiah by Candlelight. It's excerpts from the Christmas portion and one excerpt from the Easter portion of Handel's Messiah as well. We're doing a live concert performance in the Portland metro area of the Pacific Northwest. We also are releasing a virtual version of that concert that's going to be really beautiful and done super cinematically. Tickets are going to be arranged through Eventbrite. I'm going to be releasing ticketing information within the next week or so, and I will be including it in more videos as a promo. And if you follow me on Instagram at Opera Cecilia, you will find more information about how to access the virtual and in-person versions of our second performance of our season there. Now let's get to this super exciting video. I got a lot of requests for this artist, especially among Aurora fans or people that came across me and my channel because of the Aurora videos. I've been basically introduced to a lot of really wonderful other Norwegian artists as a result. And one of the requests that I kept getting over and over again by multiple people was for the artist Angelina Jordan. Angelina Jordan is a very young Norwegian artist. She's only 15 years old. So the fact that she's left such a mark on the music industry already at such a young age is super impressive. Normally I am wary of child singers just because I know how the voice works after having trained many years as a classical singer and knowing a lot about vocal pedagogy. I just want to make sure that these young singers are being taken care of. The music industry on a global level can be very exploitative toward children, especially same with the film industry for child actors. And so I wanted to be very, very careful to make sure that I wasn't taking part in that in any way and that this artist was being treated well in her career so far and that she seemed to be given the means to take good care of her voice, and I was very pleasantly surprised and happy to find that that seems to be the case. She seems to have a lot of artistic license for a performer that is so young, and it seems like her record label is really working with her, and she has taken part in a number of singing competitions, and sometimes singing competitions can be awesome and other times they can be quite exploitative to young singers, but she seems to really have held her own artistically in that environment, and she seems to really know what she wants, and I find that very impressive for someone of her age. We will be reacting to the music video for her first released single with Republic Records, which is called Million Miles. This is just Wikipedia because it was the most succinct information that I could find on her background, but it says that Angelina Jordan is a Norwegian singer whose auditioned for the 2014 season of Norway's Got Talent singing Gloomy Sunday in the style of Billie Holiday, became a viral video online and brought her worldwide press coverage at the age of 7. That is so young. She went on to win the competition with her performance of George Gershwin's Summertime. Since then, she has worked to raise millions of dollars on behalf of environmental causes and children's charities around the world. She always performs barefoot after befriending a young shoeless girl and giving her shoes to her. Jordan wrote a book about the experience and became the youngest published author in Norway. She seems to be really inspired artistically by the world around her from a very young age, which is super, super cool, and definitely reminds me a lot of Susanna Sundfør and Aurora in many ways as well. You Norwegians are like such wonderful, ethereal, beautiful people, and it's been so fascinating to get to see how all of the music, all the musicians that come out of that country seem to be cut from a similar earthy and ornate cloth. I love it so much. I'm obsessed with Norwegian contemporary artists. They're just making my day. Jordan has released multiple digital singles, 2 EPs, and 1 album called It's Magic. She appeared on the first season of Little Big Shots in 2016, another show, and the second season of America's Got Talent, The Champions in 2020, where her cover version of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody brought her much attention. In August of 2020, it was announced that she has signed with Republic Records. Her first single under the label Million Miles, was released in November of 2020. So this was released about a year ago. December of 2014, she partly realized a personal ambition of singing at the Nobel Peace Prize concert by performing for Peace Prize recipients Malala and Kailash, I hope I'm saying that name right, at the Save the Children's Peace Prize celebration. Jordan's recording debut, the 3-song maxi single My Christmas, was released in December of 2014. To support the release, Jordan performed the songs on multiple TV shows, including an appearance on Christmas Day. Those 2 appearances were back in 2014, so she was already realizing her dreams, a lot of her dreams musically from such a young age. It is so rare to have such a direction in your life and to just really know what you want to do and have so much fervor and determination toward it so young. But that is so cool to see. I love it when I hear of older performers that got to start late also meeting success. I think just everybody's diversity of stories, whether you start young or old in this industry, are so beautiful. It's so amazing to kind of get to step into the journey of all of these artists. And I truly believe that whether you get an early start and you're super young in the industry or a late start, your artistry 100% matters, and all of it should be treated equally with equal integrity across the board. In her personal life, she was born in Oslo, Norway. She has lived for extended periods both there and in Los Angeles, California. She also lived for a time in the Middle East. She has a younger sister who has been featured in 2 of her music videos. Her father is Swedish and her mother is Norwegian. She attended the Oslo Waldorf School and participated in the Oslo School of Music and Performing Arts after-school program, where she received vocal training and piano lessons. In addition to singing and playing the piano, she plays violin, guitar, and flute, and also paints. As of 2020, she was living and going to school in LA. So it sounds like she's currently located in America. She might have located closer to a record label. I'm not entirely sure. She was born and raised most of her life, it sounds like, in Oslo. And it's really cool. She received some similar early training in music that some of the other Norwegian artists I've researched have received. Once again, that early training for kids. You never know when you're going to find the next big artist just because they were inspired by music at such a young age, or just the next great arts connoisseur or patron of the arts as well, because those people are super important too. This is actually an article about the song Million Miles and kind of clues us into some of the artistic inspiration behind it. This article says Angelina Jordan found her purpose in life early, 8 years old. Winning Norway's Got Talent at the tender age only solidified that what the headstrong young singer knew she wanted to do with her life. YouTube footage of her singing Whitney Houston's I Will Always Love You at the age of 1.5 suggests that her path has been clear right from the start. That must have been so charming. Now with her signing to Republic Records, the teen singer can fulfill the next chapter of her destiny. Even being so young, I've always known what I wanted. I found my purpose. It is to be a musician. The singer, who was born and raised in Oslo but is now based in Los Angeles, was 7 when her audition of Norway's Got Talent went viral, and her version of Billie Holiday's Gloomy Sunday, which I mentioned earlier, captured over 300 million views and set her on a path that changed her life. Even being eliminated from the American version of the reality show in February, this hasn't stopped her star from rising. And it tends to be the case that it's not always the winners of those shows that end up being the most influential in the industry. After being courted by a number of record labels, Jordan signed with Republic and has just released her debut single, Million Miles. And it says from the very beginning of her career, she says that she had offers to be signed, but her family and her wanted to wait and develop her talent for a while. They knew that at a very young age, in order for her to accomplish bigger things in her life, she had to wait in order to make sure that she created something meaningful. And this is where I kind of got a little bit of that sense that she just has a wisdom beyond her years and is able to handle this industry. Not every young person goes into it initially with that mentality, even if they have a massive gift. And it takes more than just musical talent to thrive in this industry. It takes a lot of strength, determination, thick skin, just basic things like punctuality and work ethic and all of this stuff. And it sounds like she has such an early start. She probably has parents that ground her very well, which is wonderful, and a family, a supportive unit. And it sounds like she has a good head on her shoulders and really, really understands who she is as an artist, or at least who she is at this phase in the game. Of course, with artists this young, they tend to evolve and change over time. And I think that process can be very beautiful too. I have a bone to pick with most really, really young singers that start out, just because I get so worried that they're going to deal with vocal problems because of the pressure of keeping that busy performance schedule. This particularly is the case with young classical singers though. Hopefully don't get too much flack in the comments for this. As a voice instructor, I truly believe that opera is a specific genre that you shouldn't be studying until you're older, like late teens, even early 20s for some people, depending on your voice type, because it's sort of the Olympics of singing. Those pieces are really, really hard to sing. And I've heard of a lot of young singers that showed promise in classical music from a very early age, but because they didn't gradually work their way up to that really challenging repertoire, not only do they lack the life experience to be able to convincingly play the characters that repertoire comes from, but they also were just pushed vocally beyond their limits too much and pressured to do those things too often when their vocal folds were still developing. She is in a stage where her voice will evolve and change over time, but since she's a contemporary artist, it doesn't necessarily always carry the same risks with it. I'm not as worried. She's also in her teen years at this point. Based off of the limited recordings I've heard, her voice sounds like it's in pretty good shape and that she's taking really good care of herself, and she has a wisdom beyond her years in the sense that she has a lot of very clear vision as to what she wants to do as an artist and the impact she wants to make. So I truly believe that she possesses the patience and the will to take really good care of herself in this business. So I'm not worried about her. I guess I had to process that out loud because it's very important to me. I care really, really deeply for artists, and she does show a lot of talent and promise, and I just want to make sure that that's not leapt on too quickly because she's so young. And luckily, that seems to not be the case. Following her stint on Got Talent, Jordan has shared a number of cover versions of her favorite songs, and then she released recently her debut single, Million Miles, which is a piano ballad that she says is about losing love. And it showcases her range. And she's quoted as saying, "The song is really about everyone and reminding us that we are never alone, because we as humans, our biggest fear as human beings are that we are very afraid of being alone or experiencing loss." And she goes on to say, I have been writing a lot of songs, but I decided on this song because of a feeling it gave me. I've never felt that feeling before. When I write a piece, it is mostly from my experiences. Music for me has always been my passion. It's been clear to me what kind of music I want to make. With this song, when I created the melody and lyrics, it started out totally different than what it turned out to be. It felt like something was guiding me in the studio. What is so special about working with such a producer as Stargate is that I feel so comfortable. They understand my music, and from the moment I met them, we had that chemistry to make the songs. That's the most important thing, I believe. It feels like something was guiding me to be able to write this song. I think everybody in the studio is aware that something magical was happening. It sounds like she had a spiritual experience when she wrote this song to a certain extent, and that tends to be the case for artists who decide that this is going to be like their debut single of a new era of their career. She says, "Million Miles means a lot to me because it is relevant to the difficult times we're dealing with. I definitely want to share my love to everyone, and I hope that people can connect with it and relate to the story behind the song." And then it kind of continued to explain a little bit more of why she likes to perform barefoot, which is definitely reminds me of Aurora because she tends to perform barefoot a lot of the times as well. As fans have come to know, Jordan likes to perform barefoot in honor of a young girl she met when she was 6 who didn't have any shoes. Ever since the young singer gave that girl her shoes, she's performed without wearing her own. She recorded Million Miles barefoot too. She says, "I want to remind myself that there are less fortunate people around the world who need help, and it is a great reminder for me." According to a lot of the research I've done on her, she also has a very altruistic spirit from a very young age, and it's really beautiful to see the next generation of prominent singers showing up and making a big difference in their communities through their art and through the access to wealth or resources or platform that they're able to gain because of their art. I truly believe that if we are to have a public platform on any level, on any scale, that we should be using it to promote good in this world as much as possible. That's a little bit of research on all of them. Thank you once again for going on the nerdy journey with me. This is the official music video for Angelina Jordan's new-ish single, released a year ago, called Million Miles. And I have not heard the entire thing before. I've heard snippets of her singing, but I've not heard this entire song. So this is a new experience for me too. So I'll be reacting to this completely raw.
When I was a child, I walked the streets, they see me growing up, knew you were all I need. Had seen in myself through all the years, it's like it's in my tears. I think what it's given me, the smiles and the memories, but now it's not here to hold my hand. In the light of the blue sky, I'm not alone to fight, I've never regret what I do.
Okay, wow. First of all, she has kind of like an almost Adele-like quality to her voice, not completely like Adele. I tend to not like to compare two singers too much, but what's really, really beautiful about her is she has like a kind of an oscillation between cleaner vocalism and a little bit of natural rasp in the tone, or a little bit of intentional stylistic rasp. And that raspiness or that soulful quality to the voice is quite popular in contemporary music right now. So I can see why a lot of people are very emotionally engaged at the sound of her voice. It's a very naturally expressive stylistic element, and a little bit of rasp or growl in the voice is fine as long as the mechanism is fully supported. It sounds like she was singing in the studio with quite a bit of vocal resonance. There's an oscillation between cleaner vocalism and having a little bit of that rasp coming in for stylistic or dramatic effect. So as long as you have the oscillation between the two, as long as we can see that the singer can also vocalize cleanly, it's probably a stylistic choice and it's not a tick or something that she depends on or relies on. But it is something for her to bear in mind and watch out for, to make sure that she's not employing that too much. That being said, it's very, very stylistically appropriate for the song, and her voice is very inherently expressive. You can tell that she really has something to say as an artist. In the music video, we're seeing pictures of a father figure on the walls. We're seeing flashbacks to when she was a child holding hands with a father figure. I'm assuming that's kind of the direction that this video is taking itself in. And you've seen Angelina now in specific positions and in specific rooms in this house where she's entering kind of a meditative state, and she's reflecting on this idea of loss. I'm not sure if she's lost her father, or if there may be a separation there, or if this truly is a father figure, but that's just kind of the initial impression that I'm getting of the video.
We're a million miles apart. It's pulling my heart like an empty bubble to be thrown. I can't make it stop, but I know in my heart, I know that I'm never alone. I know that I'm never alone. I know that I'm never alone, never alone, never alone. No.
First of all, her vocal ornaments are absolutely beautiful. She has a natural agility to her voice that she is taking advantage of very fully and very beautifully in this song. I loved that last vocal run that she did. In the classical world, we call that coloratura. It's just kind of called vocal runs or ornaments in the contemporary world. And being able to show off that agility in a way that is both tasteful and very, very stylistically accurate is actually more challenging than you may think. So the fact that she has natural instincts for that and a natural ability to do those runs super clean from an early age is super impressive. We even see experienced, seasoned singers have issues with how to expressively and dramatically serve a song with vocal runs. And sometimes I see them going beyond the realms of good taste, to be honest. Here, they're very tasteful, and they're not necessarily meant to show off as much as they are meant to serve the text and to serve the overall dramatic effect of the music itself. A very, very touching and emotional flashbacks of, it looks like a father-daughter relationship happening. I'm assuming it's flashbacks to her as a child, and she's experiencing a loss, but there's also a sense of hope in the lyrics, which I'm finding very beautiful, as she repeats, "I'm never alone, I'm never alone." And she's sort of reminding everybody that even through the process of loss, even if it's something as extreme as a death, it doesn't have to be that everything is lost and that we're losing things all of the time. Maybe there's ways that our loved ones stay with us and continue to live through us in this world. Music kind of connects us to this ethereal sense of the divine, just the sense of connection to the planet. We've talked about a lot of that with a lot of other Norwegian artists and operatic artists that I have reacted to so far on this channel. And something that is so beautiful and riveting about this idea that we're never truly alone is that maybe our loved ones, when they die or when they pass on, they just pass into another plane of existence, and they're not gone from us. They're still watching over us, but it's just a little harder to communicate directly when we're on different planes of existence, but sooner or later you get to rejoin them again. That's kind of my personal feelings about death or about loss, and I used to be very cripplingly afraid of death and loss in my life, and as someone with anxiety, and that was a notion or a belief that I formed for myself that nothing is ever really lost. At least that's what I would like to think, depending on what your beliefs may be around a possible afterlife. The reason why this song sort of reminded me of that was because she's reassuring us that there's so many people in this world that are suffering with a really strong sense of loneliness, especially during certain circumstances that we've been dealing with recently. I think she's just reminding us that even through the most difficult times in our life, we truly are together as a community, as a human species, and we're in communion with the rest of the earth and the rest of the species of this earth as well. And all of that is so beautiful to be expressing in music, and so insightful for an artist so young. I could go on for hours about just that one topic and just that one theme, but let's keep going. I want to hear the rest of the song.
You said I'm watching you from the moon. I'm everywhere, see everything you do. I can't see you, but I know you're here. It's like you're in my tears. I think what is giving me the smiles and the memories, but now it's not here to hold my hand. In the light of the blue sky, I'm not alone to fight. I've never regret what I do. We're a million miles apart. It's pulling my heart like an empty bubble to be thrown. I can't make it stop, but I know in my heart, I know that I'm never alone. I know I'm never alone.
Wow, those bigger notes when she really goes up into that nice full belt. What a really, really cool, unique sound to the voice. And it's deep and it's soulful and it feels like it's so beyond its years. It is a very, very unique and interesting instrument. I can definitely see why people deeply resonate with it. It's a voice that is occupying somebody so young, but it seems like it's seen so much. As the video continues to unfold, you can see that the song is all about just the processing of loss and the meditating on that. I've just been watching so many like Aurora videos lately, and Aurora tends to take sometimes an impressionistic or atmospheric approach to her music videos, where it reminds me of just like painting on a canvas, and it's like this art piece and you're working really hard to interpret it, and there's so much going on with her facial expressions within that piece. It's all performance art, but it all has such like a deep, riveting moral meaning or message behind it too. Angelina, she takes a little bit more of an approach where I don't actually see as much of it happening in her face as much as I hear it coming out in her voice. I was talking about that in a Luciano Pavarotti video I did recently. He lets all of the expression come out in his voice, and that is a very effective way to perform as a singer too. It doesn't always have to be all about facial expressions. It really, really depends on the artist, and I think both forms of artistry are super legitimate and enchanting to me personally in many different ways. Maybe different when she's live on stage. I'll probably have to do a reaction video to a live performance of hers at some point too. I also love all of the nature references and how she's out in the night sky, and she's just kind of meditating on her life and processing what seems to have happened to her. Let's keep going, see where this video unfolds.
I know that I'm never alone. I wonder when I close my eyes, are you in my dream tonight? I wonder, are your friends the stars, the songs for you wherever you are? We're a million miles apart. It's pulling my heart like an empty bubble to be thrown. I can make it stop, but I know in my heart, I know that I'm never alone.
What a beautiful debut single, and refreshingly different from a lot of other artists that are climbing the charts right now. I love to see that. I think it's a very healing and cathartic song for a lot of people, especially in light of recent events in our world. And what a beautiful, clean upper belt that she has. And hearing that clean upper belt and how well supported it is makes me feel a lot better about the rasp and the escaping air in the other parts of her voice. I work with a lot of beginning singers. I make sure that they're only making clear vocalisms in the beginning, clear, clean singing based kind of off of a little bit of classical technique, and then we kind of continue to evolve into making those stylistic choices when I know that they will become choices for them and not something that they rely on. A lot of singers come in with a lot of really, really beautiful sense of style, but they don't understand how to support the style in a healthy way. Adding practical vocalism with artistic vocalism to create a very, very highly functional artist that can take good care of their voice, but also an artist that is very dramatically effective. I love just the premise behind the song of being able to own up to and deal with these really, really dark emotions that we may feel as human beings, but also allowing ourselves to process them so that we can find hope at the end. You're never alone, even if you've lost someone and that loss feels so permanent they're still with you in some way. Cathartic as well. Wonderful artist. Once again, my Norwegian fans, or those who recommended this artist to me that are also fans of Norwegian music or fans of Aurora, you all have pulled through, because Norwegian artists, y'all once again are on another level, and it's such an honor to get to be exposed to new artists like this and to be able to follow these new artists' careers, or artists that are new to me. I always link the original videos in the description to the things that I react to, so definitely just listen to this song uninterrupted. But I am so glad that I could impart some of my vocal wisdom that I have accumulated over the years on this video and get the chance to enjoy this wonderful artist with you all. She is definitely somebody to watch. I have a feeling that her music, her artistry is only gonna go up from here, and it's already starting at such a wonderful place. And I can tell that she's already healing so many people with what she's trying to do in the industry. And that is just, it's so wonderful to see the next generation of artists doing that. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the Opera Cecilia YouTube channel and click that notification bell to make sure that you are updated whenever a new reaction video or any other type of content from the channel comes out. We also have some cool backstage features about our inaugural production, some cool promo materials coming out soon for our upcoming performance of Messiah by Candlelight. And once again, I just wanted to thank you all in advance for anybody who goes and checks out my Charleston music competition video. That means so much to me as I am developing as an artist, as a performer, as well as an artistic director and an educator. I will see you around here again soon. All right, bye.